Sean Payton declined to name a starter for the Saints' first game without Drew Brees on Sunday in Seattle, saying we'll approach this game with two quarterbacks. Veteran Teddy Bridgewater and dual-threat athlete Taysom Hill will be the options there. Payton also said that the team does not plan to place Drew Brees on IR.
Yeah, so the big news there, not going on IR. You can assume that means they expect him back in under 8 weeks, since 8 weeks would be the minimum time he had to miss. A lot of people have been linking me this Taysom Teddy story because Monday I said, look, if you're saying that Taysom should be the starter, then with everything Sean Payton has really done up to this point, you're saying that you know quarterbacks better than Sean Payton. The point of that is mainly that I trust Sean Payton above all. So if he says he wants two quarterbacks, if he says he wants Taysom Hill to start, absolutely. Whatever Sean Payton can figure out with his creative genius to try to navigate these troubled waters, I am 100% behind.
Teddy Bridgewater, who stepped in for Brees last week after the injured thumb.
I've had the opportunity to watch Drew and study his process over the past year and a half, and Taysom as well. We've been able to come in, whether it's on a Monday after a game, paying attention to what Drew does, understanding his Tuesday routine, and just picking up his weekly routine has been very beneficial to all of us. So, of course, you pay attention to the things that he's done, and you try to apply them to your game. But at the end of the day, Taysom isn't Drew, and I'm not Drew. There's only one Drew Brees, and we know that. Like I said, he's the standard. But at the end of the day, there's only one Drew Brees.
Yeah, one thing that has not changed, Jordy, I still think that this is just an unreal opportunity for Teddy Bridgewater. He had such a good start to his career in terms of winning and maybe becoming a franchise quarterback. That injury derailed everything. NFL teams will jump at the opportunity to pay you boatloads of money if you look like a competent quarterback in this league. And so he can make himself literally just millions upon millions of dollars through this next 6 weeks.
A couple of roster moves for the Saints on Wednesday. The Saints have filled their two open roster spots by promoting undrafted rookie wide receiver Lil'Jordan Humphrey to their active roster and signing veteran linebacker Ray-Ray Armstrong to the 53. Drew Brees posted an Instagram picture that showed his surgery was successful and did his best to give a thumbs up in the selfie. One more from Payton here talking about the quarterback position heading into Sunday for New Orleans.
I probably won't make any, I'm more apt to not make any announcements. That's just typically what we don't do.
Yeah, they're pretty notoriously closed off informationally over there in Airline Drive. It's really par for the course for the NFL. In a game where, percentage point differences end up being win and loss differences, everybody's looking for any edge they can get. And so if you can make a Seattle team kind of have to think, well, do we prepare for Bridgewater? Do we prepare for Hill? Sure, make them play that game. I'm still guessing that Bridgewater is going to be the quarterback for the vast majority of this game.
3:25 start for the Saints and Seahawks coming up this Sunday. 98.1, Eagle 98.1 will have your play-by-play. NFL Thursday gets going tonight with an AFC South rivalry with the Tennessee Titans visiting the Jacksonville Jaguars. Both teams coming off of a loss in Week 2. Tennessee fell at home to Indy while Jackson fell on the road to Houston. 7:20 start for this Thursday night game. There's a lot of talk around the availability of star cornerback Jalen Ramsey for the Jacksonville Jaguars. His head coach, Doug Marrone, yesterday said in a press conference that he's planning on starting Ramsey tonight, who's demanded a trade from the franchise. Here's Leonard Fournette talking about the stability of Ramsey heading into tonight's matchup.
It is a business at the end of the day, and I totally understand where he's coming from. It's all about winning. Right now, I talked to him, it's only 2 weeks into the season, and when losing happens like that, it feels like it's going on week 8, and it's challenges as men and as players, and a lot of people say he comes with a lot of baggage, but he is one of the key parts of our team. Whatever they have going on, hopefully they work it out or whatever the case may be. But I know as long as Jalen, he's going to work his tail off. He's going to work with the team. So he's always going to compete. That's one thing I loved about him. He's like me. He loves winning. Like I said, it's just part of the business stuff.
Yeah, and there's a Photoshop going around on Ramsey with him. Like they're attributing a quote to him. Like, I hate this place. Yeah. It's all great. That's not actually true. Everything Ramsey has said is that.
Is it fried food and hard drugs?
Yeah, which. I don't know much about Jacksonville, but to my layperson's brain, I'm like, yeah, that sounds about what I would.
I think it's fish platters.
Yeah, I mean, okay, well, sure. That kind of sounds like Jacksonville to me.
Crab legs and hard drugs.
Everything Ramsey has actually said publicly are all the right things. Yeah. Is that he still has the Jaguars on his helmet, that's who he works for, and that he's still going to do his best. I did read a shocking statistic where they looked at him against, like, Julio, Antonio Brown, Thomas, like all the best receivers in the NFL, and I think he allowed a 63 passer rating where all other cornerbacks like 103 or something. So don't forget,
two picks on Antonio Brown last year.
Jalen Ramsey can ball. I bet you Leonard wants that 2-point conversion back from last Sunday, though.
LSU football yesterday. Coach Ed Orgeron going through the car wash of media. Teleconference yesterday morning. Coach O radio show last night after a press conference following practice yesterday afternoon. Some Tigers were out, including Rashard Lawrence and Glenn Logan. Both those guys expected not to play, but welcome back to practice. K'Lavon Chaisson back to the practice field. Tyler Shelvin was out there as well. Here's Orgeron last night on his radio show talking about these young running backs getting into action earlier on.
We need to get these guys in the first and second quarter and significant playing time. They have earned that right. Obviously, we have a full house back there, but it's a good deal. We have 5 guys that we think that we can play. But we need to get those guys in early and get them used to the competition, especially in SEC play, and see what they can do. I think they're going to be fine.
One more from O last night talking about how he replaces Todd Harris.
Yeah, you'll see Kerry Benson back there, who he's played free safety before. You'll see Keenan Jones, who is the backup free safety, so those guys are going to play. But obviously, we always got Grant and we got Jacoby Stevens. Those 2 guys are starters, so we can mix and match those guys back there. We should be fine. But I'll tell you, we're going to miss Todd. He's a great character young man. He did everything right. He's a leader in this room, an outstanding player for us.
So we talked to Gordy Rush at the Tiger Zone last night. Me and Hanny did, and there's a lot of fascinating options that they could do with replacing Todd Harris. We can talk about it a bit more coming up, but they're talking about maybe, we discussed the potential of maybe even moving like Stingley or Fulton to that slot position, dropping Carey back to safety, moving in Flott on the outside. He's a long guy, seems to fit there. So that is definitely one of the things, if you're an LSU fan, that you really want to be locked in on this weekend, is how does that secondary change in light of that Todd Harris injury?
11 a.m. start for LSU and Vanderbilt. Your pregame starts at 7 a.m. on Saturday morning with T-Bob Hebert and Richard Dixon. Tigers wearing purple for the second straight weekend. College football starts tonight with Tulane being the only game in town, not only in the state of Louisiana, but the only game in college football tonight, as they'll have the stage to themselves at Ullman Stadium. 7 o'clock kickoff between the Houston Cougars and the Tulane Green Wave. Coach Dana Holgerson bringing his Cougs over in the Tulane uniforms that were published yesterday on Tulane Equipment. Got the link inside the document if you want to bring it up for our viewers at 1045ESPN.com, Nate, with the baby blues, the helmets looking tight. Have you seen this yet?
Yeah, they're beautiful. They're incredible. Tulane Equipment's always been pretty good, though. I like the Angry Wave logo, but these, whoa, these things is clean. Got the interlocking TU. Look, if you're looking for something to do tonight, you're some of our loyal OTB New Orleans listeners, head over to Ullman, man. It's going to be a great environment. Favored against Houston, like we said, the only show in town on ESPN. I sincerely am cheering for Tulane that Willie Fritz and company can get this done and make a nice statement on the national stage. It's also huge for them in the AAC and in their conference championship hopes.
7 o'clock kickoff on national television. Ullman Stadium will be the backdrop between Tulane and Houston.